How much do you value yourself? People often talk about how others don't value them and they may feel taken advantage of or not heard, or feel that their wants and needs don't matter. But that only happens when you don't value yourself. When you undervalue yourself, then it's highly likely that other people will not value you. And how can you truly succeed at whatever you want to accomplish if you don't value yourself? Success and fulfillment really go hand in hand, and I don't think you can accomplish both if you don't value yourself, because whatever you do accomplish will never feel like it's enough or good enough. For example, when was the last time you compared yourself to someone and then had the thought that the person you were comparing yourself to was in some way better than you? I think this is something we probably all do from time to time, and I think it's something we're encouraged to do as well. And that's a problem though, because when we focus on measuring ourselves against other people, we lose sight of our own value. What you want to focus on is who you are, what your skills, gifts, and talents are, what you want out of life. It really doesn't matter what someone else wants or what they do. We are all different. We all have different abilities and desires. And you might compare yourself to others and think you're better than them in some way, and you might see that as a sign that perhaps you do value yourself highly. But I would argue that if you really valued yourself, then you wouldn't feel the need to compare yourself in the first place. And when you compare yourself, I think you'll always find someone who seems to have more than you do or something better than you. When you compare yourself to others, you're more likely to feel insecure, envious, and discontented. I think it can be really helpful to become aware of where, when, and how you compare yourself to others. I believe this is something that can be life-changing if you're willing to do it. For example, did you feel envious of someone you saw on television? Do you have a colleague, a family member, or friend who likes to brag or who makes you feel inferior in some way? What do you think when you see someone driving an expensive car or when you hear about someone who makes a lot of money? The last time you checked your social media feeds, were there some updates that made you feel envious or less than, or even made you feel smug or better than that person? There's a group on Facebook that's called View from My Window, where people post pictures from where they live. And the idea is that since we're unable to travel like we did before because of the pandemic, and we're having to isolate at home, we get to view other parts of the world as people post pictures from their home. And it's lovely to see all the different places around the world, and some people truly live in magnificent places. But some people don't have magnificent views out of their windows, and it's common to see some people apologize when they post their picture because it's not as nice as some other people's. Well, that's comparing, and when that person is comparing where they live to where someone else lives in that way, then they're undervaluing themselves, because that's not what it's about. It's about taking a virtual tour around the world to have different experiences. One person is not less than another because of where they live, but that's how they see it. And there are many ways that we compare ourselves to others, whether it's physically, that person's taller or thinner or more attractive than me, and I wish I could be more like them. Or perhaps it's mentally, that person's smarter than me. Or emotionally, that person has everything figured out and is calmer and more together than me. Or in terms of accomplishment, that person has greater success or more money than me. However it happens, it's important to be aware of it, because once you are aware, then you can begin to change it. And since I have the trait of high sensitivity and I'm also an introvert, I was frequently told, you're too sensitive, or you're too shy, or why can't you be more like this person or that person? So naturally, I grew up wanting to be more like others. I had the message that it wasn't okay to be me. I definitely undervalued myself, and so I attracted people who also didn't value me. But once I stopped comparing myself and started valuing myself, then I attracted people who do value me. I don't need to compare myself with anyone anymore. And that doesn't mean I don't do it. It's been so deeply ingrained in me that sometimes I automatically go there. But I am able to catch myself and turn the thoughts around. So, my challenge to you is for you to start noticing where, when, and how you compare yourself to others and how that contributes to your sense of self-value. When you stop comparing, can you learn to value yourself more? I think so. I'll end with a couple of well-known quotes. The first is from Eleanor Roosevelt. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. And the second is from Teddy Roosevelt. Comparison is the thief of joy. Thank you.